I have a special guest today, and it's one of the candidates running for office, and I'm going to have him introduce himself and the office that you're currently seeking.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me here today. My name is Steve Elia, and I'm running to get reelected to the Bishop School Board.
Okay, so you are already on the school board. You're an incumbent.
I am. This is my third term actually on the board, and I've served
Wow.
for the last 2 years actually as our board president.
Okay. Curiously, how long have you lived in the area?
I'm kind of a new guy here. I've only been here about 30 years. So in Bishop time, I know that's not long. It's only one generation, not multi-generational.
Yeah.
I think it's actually right on 28.
Wow. Moving on. What drove you to the decision originally? Let's go back three terms ago. What originally drove you to run for office?
Yeah, I love that question. For me, I think the biggest driver on that was a belief in service. I was a teacher at Bishop High School for 15 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What did you teach in high school?
High school English. I taught a class called AVID, College Readiness Class.
Yeah.
I also taught peer mediation for a couple of years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so when I left the high school for my current position, I've stayed in the area, I work remotely, and I just realized I wanted to stay in touch with the schools, stay involved, and really, that idea of being a service is something to try and teach my kids. It's a value I believe in, and so the opportunity to give back to our community, to serve our educational community, and to really try and help make our schools the best they can be. And I think that's probably the other reason that I'm running is that is belief in impossibility.
Impossibility.
In my job, I get to go out and see a lot of schools that are really thriving and doing well, even with challenging situations. And I just know that even though we're doing a ton for our kids, a ton for our students, a ton for our teachers and staff, we can always do more. We can always do better.
Right.
I believe that in that possibility, what our schools can be, so our students can be more successful.
Right. Moving on to the next question, why? There's a lot of people that, well, I wouldn't say there's a lot of people, but there's other people that are running that haven't had a board seat. They're new, obviously not incumbents.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you would be still best for this office?
It's funny when in the political climate these days, I feel like I shouldn't say this because people take sound bites all the time. But
There's no sound bites coming out here. What we're recording is going up. We're not. Everything's gonna be in context.
Yeah, of course. But I'd like to start by saying, I'm not sure I'm the best.
That's
what
I
I bring.
that.
I know that I'm going to bring myself to this work. That's what I've done ever since I've stepped foot in a classroom in Bishop. That I brought who I am to the classroom, and I'll bring who I am to the boardroom.
I definitely see what you see by sound bites. Not to interrupt you, but
yeah.
He says he's not the best.
Exactly. I want to vote for this guy. So it's not the best. But what I will say, because every candidate's going to bring their own skill sets and their own passions to the work. But here are three things what I think make me unique.
Okay.
Number one is knowledge. Number two is vision, and the last is experience. For me, I've been a lifetime educator. I started teaching kids as a mountain guide and doing outdoor education when I was, probably 20 years old. And after 10 years as a mountain guide, and specifically taking kids out into the wilderness and having transformative experiences so they can learn who they want to be through climbing mountains, through sleeping under the stars, through cooking their own food and carrying their own backpacks. That brought me to the classroom in Bishop here as a high school teacher. And so I know what it's like when kids say, I don't have my homework, or they get up and they're disruptive in class. I know what those hardships are in the classroom.
Right.
And then ultimately in the work I do right now, I get to go see schools that are thriving, that've got challenging situations and challenging circumstances, but they seem to overcome them. And so that knowledge as an educator, I think, is something unique. Vision, I just believe in all kids.
Yeah.
I think what you're going to hear from me in the boardroom, and as I talk to parents, as I talk to teachers, is it doesn't matter who the student is, what their background is, what they bring to the school, what they bring to the classroom. Same with teachers. I'm going to believe in them because I believe that all students can succeed. And I'm going to make sure we've got policies and protocols and ways we're being in schools that can ensure that happens.
So you've been on the board for 3 years. You must have learned a lot about what it is to be a board member, the things that you can and cannot do. What do you plan to bring to the table, or maybe do differently this term?
Yeah.
If reelected.
That's a great question, because I think that's, when you're asking about being the best, I think that's the third thing I bring, which is experience.
Right.
We've been through some hard times over these last bunch of years. We've faced some challenges in our district, but we've had great successes. We've got smaller class sizes. We've got improved counseling services. We just got our middle school got California School Distinction last year for improved reading and math scores and lower suspensions.
That is awesome.
So when I think about what I want to do next is I want to stand on the shoulders of those successes. And actually I want to give a plug for one more, a really big thanks to Chief Nate Durr and our Bishop PD. We've got a SRO coming on full time. That's something we've had, a school resource officer coming on to campus here soon. And
Okay.
we've had some funding for that in the past, but it's been sort of one-time funding. We haven't been able to hold it. But in our partnership with the PD, we've been able to make that a full-time position that hopefully will sustain for years. So thank you, Chief Durr. Thank you, PD, for all of your service to our community, but especially
Yeah.
our schools.
They've been great.
So what do I want to do next?
Yeah.
3 priorities:
Okay.
safety,
Okay.
student success, and our culture on campus and within our schools. We got to make sure that our schools are a safe place for kids to be. And what I mean by that specifically these days is one about student health and well-being. We got to make sure our kids are taken care of. They're feeling protected in schools. They're feeling comfortable in schools so they can thrive in their education. They got to know that every teacher believes in them and is going to take care of them. And for our staff, for our teachers, they've got to know that every administrator has their back so they can do their best work as well.
Right.
But it also means making sure our campuses are safe and our kids aren't tripping over roots in the quad between classes, that teachers aren't moving buckets around in classrooms to catch the rainwater that's dripping through leaky roofs, that our kids are playing basketball
Yeah.
and the roof's not blowing off the gym like it did just the other day. So, you probably know we've got a school bond on the election too, or
Yeah.
some support for that. There's a town hall. I'd invite everybody to come on out to that this Thursday, 6 o'clock,
Okay.
Carlin Boardroom, and we can talk more about that piece right there.
All right.
Student success. We got to make sure that more of our students are taking advantage of being college ready. And what I mean by that, because I know college isn't for every student, but in terms of getting our courses, all A through G requirement courses, we've got kids who are one class away from being college eligible and they don't even know. We've got kids who are like 1D away from being college eligible. They get up to a C and now they got the opportunity. It's their choice to go.
Right.
But let's make sure we're keeping doors open for them.
Right. Absolutely. How are you going to implement those plans? I mean, that's quite ambitious. I mean, I already know the safety part. We got the sheriff coming, not the sheriff, the PD coming on campus.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the biggest thing we can do to ensure safety, student success, and make sure you got the kind of culture where students can thrive and teachers can do their best work. It's, I don't mean to oversimplify. It's a simple answer, but it's certainly not easy. It's all about collaboration. It's about working together. Working together as 5 board members, not being one board member. Working with our superintendent, who's doing an incredible job, stretching our thin resources to creatively solve problems. To work with our administration as they lead our students. To work with our teachers, to work with our students, but also working with communities and families.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes, especially when I think about being a service and doing the work, is if you want to go fast, it's an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's how we're going to be successful here at our Bishop schools, is doing this work together.
I like it. Those were the serious questions.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah, right.
Anything else you want to add before we move on to the fun questions?
I do want to add, especially because I think sometimes people who know me, they think I'm focused on college. It's all about college. The work I do is all about college readiness, but it's also about career readiness.
Okay.
So when I think about student success on campus, it's not just college. It's making sure we have the CTE pathways and CTE classes, our career and technical education classes, that we've got those that are ending in complete CTE pathways, that some of those could end in certification, even AAs, while kids are in high school, getting them graduated with AAs in those career-oriented areas. And I think we have lots of opportunity there. And then making sure, especially at our elementary schools, that we're focused still on skills, on reading, on math, making sure they're at grade level early on. And so every subsequent teacher can stand on the shoulders of where they've been and really take our kids to new heights. And let me just add one more thing about what I hope for us is around our culture.
Yeah.
We've got to have a culture of high expectations for our kids. I'm one of those people that believes in kind of getting your hands dirty and be willing to do the work. And what that means is we've got to have that combination of rigor for our kids in schools, but couple that with support. And we need to make sure that we're specifically focused on those high expectations for kids, right? They can't be lining up by the door 2 minutes before the bell rings, backpack on. They can't be vaping in bathrooms. They can't
smoking in the
right. We can't have that. We got to make sure that they're not using their cell phones during class, and they're respecting teachers when they say put that away.
Right.
And we want to focus on those high expectations for all kids, for all staff and for our entire community so that our kids can thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so now to the fun question. What is one of your favorite things to do in the Eastern Sierra?
Oh, that was easy. That's just being outside with my friends and family, right? What brought me here was climbing 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Climbing the gorge and the buttermilks, coming from being a mountain guide. That's what I was all about. But it's still the outdoors here. And now it's fishing, it's skiing, and it's skateboarding out by
Skateboarding still, huh?
getting on the skateboard out by Paradise. We got some good downhill
Oh,
runs.
nice.
It's
So is that longboard skateboarding?
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
cool.
But it's always about being outside.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
one of the great gifts we have here in town.
Besides things outside, do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, that one right there, I think I'd call it construction these days. I'm working on finishing up a one-bedroom mother-in-law unit. I've got like low skills in this area, but high enthusiasm.
But you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so if there's anybody out there that wants to give some support service around how you do electrical, you just let me know.
YouTube.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. And like I said before, I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I don't mind making mistakes and fixing them when you make those mistakes. And construction is a great place to do that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I guess any parting thoughts? Because we're gonna go to what was the original? We didn't have it. What was the original classic rock song that you wanted?
Yeah, the Metallica song.
Oh, we have that one.
We have that. The first one was "Don't Get Fooled Again" by the
Yeah.
Beatles, but my other one was "Enter Sandman" by Metallica. My final thoughts would just be this: is
Yeah.
thank you to our community coming out to vote. I'd love to get your vote. I'd love to earn your vote, but I hope you're just going to be there at the ballot booth because I know that, like I said before, the way we go further is when we do that all together as community. And so thank you for all that support out there.
Absolutely, and we appreciate having you here. And good luck on November 5th. We are going to Enter Sandman and Metallica, and in a day or two, this interview will be up online. You'll find it at Sierra Wave Media on Facebook and